So another day, another game release happens, and this one in particular just happens to be Gladiator Resurrection, which has actually gotten really good review scores so far. Now me personally, I'm actually waiting for the PC versions of it, since I have a gaming PC now and I want to get that mod support. So I'm waiting out on that instead of getting the PS4 version, which is available now digitally, not physically. Anyways, I've seen some live stream footage of Resurrection to get a good idea of the voice acting, because as we know, some of the voice actors have returned from the original game on PSP Gladiator Burst, but others have not, and their voices can kind of be a little questionable at times. Anyways, today I wanted to make this video and to put together the original English dub of Gladiator Burst, released in 2011, compared to with the redub of Gladiator Resurrection, which is now the new 2016 game. In our case, it came out in 2015 in Japan, but now we have it in 2016. And here is something interesting. I'm gonna critique a cutscene, not a beginning cutscene, not a late in-game cutscene. It's a cutscene that's kind of pivotal into the story, where it ranges a bunch of emotion and stuff happening, which is why I picked this cutscene. So the cutscene I'm going to be reacting to is the moment of silence. No, a moment of the end. That's what it's called anyways. It's the one, if you played Burst, where the squad goes out on a mission and basically Lindo is trapped, and you'll see when we get into it. Now, I'm going to be critiquing this in the way of the video that I uploaded, which is the PS4 version footage with the Burst audio. And something I want to clear up right now is that Resurrection, I'll give it this, they did a better job, a lot better job than what they did with Burst, and how they dubbed it better with the, the lip syncing. So, I'm doing like hand gestures. So, I give it that. But as the voice, as for the voice delivery, well, I want new people to critique this as well. Because as for me, I don't know, I feel stone-minded in my own old ways, because I've heard Burst, I've played Burst, and then I hear the new redub, and I'm like, I don't know. So this is why I want newcomers to see this, so they can see if I'm mad or anything. So we're gonna get into this, and for the Resurrection footage for the redub, I'm gonna be using a streamer's footage, which is Zusaku, and I don't remember the other numbers, but I'll put his link in the description if you wanna, follow him on Twitch. He's a cool guy. And yeah, without further ado, going to be comparing side by side, individually, scene by scene. So if you guys don't like that, you can go watch something else. And yeah, let's finally get started on this thing.
Hey, this is really getting fishy. Is something wrong?
No, nothing's wrong. You're all clear from the side and back.
Right. Let's move on.
Okay, so that was the Burst audio mixed with the Resurrection footage, which is pretty synced up. I'm surprised how synced up the voices and the animations are exactly. It's crazy. Anyways, that's the Burst. Now, as you can see from that, the lip syncing was a little off at times. Sometimes the voices would come out and sometimes the lip flaps would come out and the voices would not speak. So that was an issue that happened in Burst. Even on the original PSP version, that's what happened. So now we take a look at how they fix it in Resurrection, where they fixed up the audio a little bit, but the message is still there. So let's take a look at Resurrection now.
I don't know. Something is definitely off here. You all right?
Yeah, I'm fine. Your flanks are clear, Captain. Both the sides and back.
Right, good. Come on, let's move.
Alright, so as you can see right there, they did a better job of lip syncing in Resurrection. And keep in mind also, since this is taken from a stream, you will sometimes hear the streamer talk, so there's nothing I can really do unless somebody provided me footage, which they don't, and I don't have the game, so this is the best you're gonna have to deal with. So sometimes you will hear the guy who's streaming talking. So I would say in this cutscene, in this regard, I think I'd give a point to Resurrection. And I'm not gonna be really keeping tally points unless a viewer wants to. But for so far, I think that scene, I think Resurrection definitely has it. Just has the same emotion, the same quality acting, just that Resurrection is better at lip syncing. Anyways, move on to second scene.
What? You guys?
Huh? What are you doing here, Lindo?
Why would they send 2 teams to the same section? What does this mean?
Let's worry about that later. We need to wrap this up and head back. We'll take the inside. You guys check the outside. Got that?
Okay, nothing wrong there. It shows that the teams are on separate individual assigned missions where they weren't expecting to be meeting each other. And the tone is there. And the lip syncing actually works relatively well, so no complaints there. No complaints on the Burst side. However, let's go take a look at the Resurrection side, because I do have something to say about that.
Okay.
The hell? Hey, guys.
Lindo, what up? Why are you here?
Was this an error? Or maybe they sent 2 teams to cover this region.
I don't know. I guess that's a problem for later. Let's wrap up the mission and head back. Alyssa and I will cover the inside of the church. Your team takes the exterior. Cool?
Alright. I feel like again, this is why I feel like I'm biased. This is why I need somebody who has no knowledge of God Eater at all, and judge for yourself which one sounds better to you in general. Now, I'm not talking about the lip syncing. Even though I appreciate the lip syncing quality, it's just the acting and the emotion is also another factor, because this is a story-driven game. Anyways, I feel like in Resurrection, when Soma goes, the hell? He sounds... I've noticed this too throughout. Soma sounds a little too cheery. I don't know if it's just me, but when you play Burst on the PSP, Soma is a downer. He's like, he's the edgelord. He is edgy, and he just sounds... I don't know, he's just edgy. He sounds depressed, I don't know. But in Resurrection, he sounds like how he's supposed to sound like in God Eater 2, which, I guess, spoiler warning, at the end of Burst, he kind of redeems himself and trusts others more instead of relying everything on himself, carrying the burden of what he holds. I'm not going to spoil anything of that. But I feel like he sounds... The voice acting is fine, but I feel like his direction... I don't know, it doesn't suit him at this state yet. Soma is still supposed to be this downer, depressed, oh, I have the burden to deal with, blah, blah, blah. And as for Lindo right there, where he goes, hold on, let me go back to it. Where he's right here, he's talking about, I don't know, there's a, I guess there's a problem with that later, whatever. He sounds a little too chill and relaxed. In the Burst version, he sounded more concerned, like, let's worry about that later, we'll wrap this up or whatever. But in this, he sounds a little too chill, just listen.
I don't know. I guess that's a problem for later. Let's wrap up the mission and head back.
Okay, and let me go back to Burst. This is where the contradictions start. Alright, let me go back to Burst.
Let's worry about that later. We need to wrap this up and head back. We'll take the inside. You guys check the outside. Got that?
I don't know, in Burst he sounded more concerned. In here he's like, yeah, I don't know, we'll just worry about that later. And here he sounds like, okay, here's the plan. We're gonna go inside, blah, 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 blah. He just sounds like, I don't know.
Let's wrap up the mission and head back. Alyssa and I will cover the inside of the church. Your team takes the exterior. Cool?
Anyways, next scene, Burst side now.
Get back! Keep me covered from the rear!
Daddy, Mommy, stop it! Don't eat them!
Alyssa! What's going on? That's right. Fight it! Rise above it!
This is what you should say as you pull that trigger. Ajin, Duva, Tori.
Ajin, Duva, Tori.
That's right. That's the chant that will turn you into a strong girl.
Ajin, Duva, Tori.
These are your enemies. The Aragami.
When things get chaotic, look up at the sky.
Stop it!
Okay, so Burst. Burst, man, I feel the emotion. I feel the tension. I feel like, you know, they're fighting for their life here, engaging this dangerous origami. Lindo's fighting. Alyssa sees the familiar face of the origami. She gets all freaked out. I feel that emotion. And then she gets like trauma flashbacks of what that old guy talked to her about, who treated her. And he basically mind washes her to where, I don't remember the reason why, to where Lindo is the enemy. And the trance is supposed to, when she says Adin Duran Uri, I forgot honestly. But when she says those chants, it's triggered to, you know, betray Lindo. But then she snaps out of it at the end when she remembers Lindo. And then she instead shoots the ceiling to not shoot Lindo. And you'll see in a second that it traps her outside to keep Lindo fighting the origami being by himself. And Alyssa on the other side. Now, as for Resurrection, let's see how they handle this emotionally tied issue. I really need somebody who is not biased because I feel like I'm too biased. This is the point of this video. I need somebody to share my emotion.
I like how they're like fucking hunting. It's like 10 feet the other direction. Come on, guys.
There's that voice I'm talking about, by the way.
There it is.
Fall back! We gotta cover the flanks!
Daddy! No! No! Mommy, please! Don't eat them! No!
Listen, you gotta fight!
There, fight, Alyssa. Rise above it. Yes, that potential. This will keep you safe. Repeat these words as you pull that trigger, Alyssa.
I have to stop here. I have to stop here. Okay. They changed the chant. I don't know why. I don't know if they did this in Japan, but they changed the chant. That is not the chant how it was in Burst. You guys just heard it. They changed it. And I'll never understand it. Certain words they change in Resurrection. I don't understand why. Like they say Fenrir instead of Fenrir, which is the organization, you know, tackling the origami threats and stuff. At least in this branch. And for Lindo's last name, Amamaya, I think it was pronounced in Burst. Yeah, Amamaya. They say it Amamiya, which they have different pronunciations. Not a huge deal, but it's a little jarring, just a little bit compared to how they said it back then. I don't know if it was the different voice direction. I don't know if they personally just wanted to say it that way. It was probably the voice director saying, you know, no, it's more pronounced this way, so try it this way. I don't know if they had different voice directors compared to then and now. I'm assuming they did, because in the PSP version they were licensed under D3 Publisher, which I don't know if that had anything to do with it, but they are not connected with Resurrection whatsoever. So, just had to put my thought out there. And while I'm on here sobbing this, I gotta say, Lindo, he kind of sounds a little unenthusiastic here. Just a little bit. Anyways.
Remember them. Keep them close. They will keep you strong.
Fucking Lindo's like getting murdered.
Yeah.
These are your
What are we
enemies,
doing?
The ones that hurt you, Alyssa. The origami exist only to hunt, only to kill.
Big deal.
She's gonna shoot Lindo.
Get crazy or chaotic. I want you to look up in the sky.
Wow. Let's just shoot the fucking roof and lock Lindo off in there.
Okay, I think I have to get the point to burst again. I just feel the tension. I feel the adrenaline. I feel the anxiety. I feel everything in burst. And resurrection is just like, it feels like, okay, I'll say these words, but not compared to how it was back then. I felt emotion in burst. I don't feel as much in resurrection. Yes, I'm glad that they in English dubbed this. I have no complaint. You can't stop me from critiquing how it was then and how it was now. You can't stop me from doing that. So I feel like Burst has got it. I don't know. Alright, let's continue on the Burst now.
Alyssa! What have you done? No. No. Daddy. Mommy. I didn't mean it.
Do you hear her voice trembling? I don't remember if you get that in Resurrection, but her voice sounds trembling. She sounds dismayed. She sounds shocked. She sounds like, I can't believe I can't believe that monster's back. She sounds scared. You know, you feel that emotion. It's good. We'll see how Resurrection handles it.
This isn't good. We're surrounded here too, damn it.
Take that!
Hurry the hell up or we'll be surrounded!
Take Alyssa back to the den with you. That's an order.
But...
Didn't you hear me? Take Alyssa and head back to the den, damn you! Sakuya, take charge of the others! Soma, find a way out of here!
Daddy. Mommy. I didn't mean it. Hurry, Lindo. Come with us.
I'd like to, but I think I'll mess with these guys first. Save some rationed beer for me.
No. Then I'll stay and fight too.
Sakuya, I'm ordering you. Make sure you get everyone home alive.
No!
Sakuya, come on! If we stay, we'll all end up dead!
I won't go! Lindo!
Alright, back it up. Gonna say this again. Alyssa sounds scared. And Soma and Koda are outside guarding like Lindo said. And then they see all these, I forget the name of the origami, it starts with a D, I know that. And they're like, oh, here's the origami, we're surrounded here too. And they get all scared. And then they fight it off while Lindo is there fighting off the other origami. And then Sakuya sees that Lindo is trapped in there and Alyssa is with them now. And she sounds concerned as heck. And if that no scream doesn't tell you how much they put effort into their voice acting, let me go back to that. If it doesn't show you, like she sounds so concerned for Lindo, you know, her teammate. Look at this.
I'm ordering you. Make sure you get everyone home alive.
No!
And keep that in mind when you look at Resurrection. I don't think she conveys that same emotion. Exactly. Again, I need to know what just sounds better. I'm biased, I think. So that's Burst anyways. We're not quite done yet. We're almost done. I think that was the main contender of mixed emotions stuff. Sending orders, dismayed, scared voice, and concern for your comrade that he's most likely gonna die, and you're fighting off monsters to get your other comrades to not get eaten and die too. So let's see how Resurrection portrays this pretty tragic scene.
Meantime, we're just standing outside like we can't fucking hear anything 10 feet away.
Right. There we go.
Alyssa! What the hell happened? No, I didn't mean to, Mom. Papa, I don't want to. I didn't. I'm sorry.
Fucking mental breakdown. Oh no!
Damn it.
Oh, there's like 4 of them?
Surrounded everywhere we turn.
Alright, I want to give credit to Resurrection right here. I kind of like that little cry right there where it shows Alyssa at that scene. That's a nice touch, because she's still crying. She's still in disbelief. I like that touch.
Hurry up! Gotta get the hell out!
I need you to take Alyssa and get back to the den, now. You hear me?
Linda,
Damn it!
Boobies!
Do this for me! Take Alyssa and fall back to the den! Sakuya, you have charge of the newbies. Soma, cut them a path out of here.
Papa, Mama, I didn't mean to. I never meant to. Linda,
Chick's fucking
break
insane.
through and come with us.
Yeah, I'd love to, but I think these monsters need to be taught a lesson first. Say some of that.
Did I just grab her
old-fashioned
boob?
beer for me.
I totally just
You're
grabbed her
not
titty.
going. Then
Titty
I will
jiggle,
stay and
holy
fight.
fuck.
Sakuya, I am ordering you. Get them back safe, please. Don't let them die.
No! I won't leave you!
Okay, thinking back, was the no one burst a little too much? I don't think so, because Sakuya actually has feelings for Lindo. So, I'm gonna stick by to what I said earlier, but keep in mind of that burst no, and keep in mind of that resurrection no. You know, and burst she was like, oh, I'm not really gonna betray it. But she's like, a dismayed no. And then in resurrection, she's like, she's still concerned, but not as much. But she's still concerned, don't get me wrong, you know. There is feeling, but not as much as burst. You cannot deny that feeling. Anyways.
Come on, we
Titties!
have to go. If we stay here any longer, we're all dead.
I won't
Titties!
go. Lindo!
Titties! All I saw was side boobs. Like, it's like she wasn't even wearing a top.
And at the end when she says she won't go Lindo, there was still more emotion and burst I feel. Anyways, last scene, video is almost wrapped up. Let's check out how Burst finishes off.
Are they gone? Can't you let me rest for a second? I can't go on like this.
Alright, great cutscene right there. It shows that Lindo, he fought hard, he beat that origami, and he's pretty tired after beating that thing all by himself. So now he's just laying there, tired, beaten up, taking a smoke break, and then he sees another origami, the one that was, that attacked Alyssa's parents all those years ago. And now he's like, well, I guess I gotta fight some more. And, you know, it was good. No complaints there. I don't think I'll have any complaints with Resurrection either. But the thing I do have to deduct points for Burst, what was that mic shift? Like, I think it's right here.
Can't you let me rest for a second? I can't go on like this.
It's like Kyle Huber, I think that's his name. He's just like, he's like talking like this, and then he's like, I can't go on like this. Like he got really close to the mic. If I spiked it, I'm definitely gonna lower the volume. But it sounds like he got really close to the mic for that one line. I don't understand why. In Resurrection, you don't have that issue. But other than that, you know, it shows that, you know, Lindo's tired. He's had a hard fight. And he's gonna maybe die. We'll find out later in the story. So that was Burst. That's it for Burst. Now let's see how Resurrection ends it off.
I think they got away.
Uh-oh.
It's Big Papa Pump.
Seriously, can I have like 5 minutes? Don't know how long I can do this.
He's just so cool.
Alright. So, as for Lindo in Resurrection, his voice portrayal was... It's good, but I feel like the voice direction... Whoever gave voice direction for Lindo, I feel as if he was directed to where, you know, Lindo is the cool guy. And he sounds... in this scene, he sounds a little too cool for comfort, because he just had a fight to the death, basically. And he's like, you know, sitting there, and he's like, you know, oh, come on, I gotta fight some more. And in Burst, he was like, you know, he is winded, and he feels it, you know, he feels like this is it. And in Resurrection, he's like, I just fought, but I guess I'll fight some more now. And I gotta say, I think Burst just has the better voice direction. I think it has the most emotion behind it. And for the most part, just judging by this cutscene, I think Burst just has the better voice direction. I mean, we have legendary voice actors like Crispin Freeman, the guy who voices Itachi in Naruto and Naruto Shippuden, and Alyssa, who is Kate Higgins, who is Sakura from Naruto. We have these voice actors, which some return and some do not. And I don't know, guys. I feel like Burst has it. But this is where I need your help. Who do you think won in this situation? Do you think the redub Burst is better? I personally think the redub is better with the lip syncing. I feel as if certain emotions were not carried through as to how the original was. In Burst, while there is lip syncing issues, which for a PSP game, I guess is passable from Japan, I'll pass it off as that. But if they were to do it like this, I don't know what I would take. I appreciate the lip sync. You know what? I'll appreciate lip sync and good voice direction because these actors have done this before. And I know that they've done other voice jobs in the past. And I know voice acting jobs are kind of weird to where they're not as... How do I say this? Not performed as much as you'd think they would be. Like, you know, they don't have like... You know, they say a line over and over again. It depends on the director. It just depends on a lot of factors. Sometimes voice actors look back and they're like, oh man, I could have done this better or whatever. It's just, it depends on who they're working with. But in the end, I feel like Burst just took the cake. Minus the minor lip syncing issues, which I'll give it slack for it being a PSP game. Which I'm just using Resurrection visuals. But the voice acting in Burst, I feel like, was just better. It just felt better emotion. So, I'm going to end the video here, guys. I hope that somebody who has not experienced God Eater has stuck to the end and can give their perspective reasoning in the comments. Because I think, I don't know, I guess Burst wins. But I want to hear your reaction. Whether you've played both games, whether you've heard both sounds, I want to know your reaction. Because I feel like I can't be the only one who just thinks that Burst just sounded better than Resurrection. Don't even get me started on Paler Sakaki. I cannot stand that guy. That guy, I liked him in Burst. I can make a whole entire video about roasting Paler Sakaki, but I'm not. I'm not going to do that unless for some reason that gets mentioned a lot in the comments. But yeah, I'm done here. Thank you all so much for watching. If you guys do want to see a similar video where I talked about the voices, you can go ahead and watch this one right here. It's me talking about when Namco Bandai released the first English trailer of the story of Resurrection, and a little bit of Rage Burst in there. Now, if Rage Burst 2 does get a English trailer, I will most likely do a reaction to that. Because while the games are fun, you still have to listen to these acting, and since we do not have... Well, since we're only stuck with English, we can't switch to the Japanese audio. You know, we have to deal with this... I'm not saying the acting is bad. Well, in Rage Burst, I think it's going to be different because we've never heard Rage Burst in English before. It's always been in Japanese until now. But for Burst, I feel like I have to compare. So, because they've done this before. Anyways, I've dragged this on long enough. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys want to see more of this stuff, definitely let me know in the comments below. If you don't, dislike the heck out of this video, and I will do what I need to do. Again, thank you guys so much for watching, and hopefully I'll see you later. This video has gone on for a long time.